Hey platform, I'm on my way to go see Emma Gannon, author of Ctrl Alt Delete, who also has her own podcast. If you want to learn how to set up your own podcast, stay tuned.
Oh, hey platform, come in.
Hey!
I'm here with Emma Gannon. I'm Emma, I'm the author of Ctrl Alt Delete, How I Grew Up Online, which is right here. I am a podcast host, which we're going to talk about today, making podcasts, which is very exciting. I'm a consultant for brands in the digital space, and also a writer and a blogger, and also a speaker. So could you tell us a little bit about what the book is about? Of course. Ctrl Alt Delete, How I Grew Up Online is basically a chronological walkthrough of growing up online from the 90s till now, from really incriminating stories of dial-up internet and being catfished by 16-year-old boys. Fast forward to now, my whole career is based around the internet, although it has been put in the computer section a few times.
Oh really?
But it is a
instructional
manual.
So we asked you guys to send in some questions, all your written questions about how to make podcasts. How did the idea of making a podcast come to you?
I totally copied Liz Gilbert. Well, we say copied. I was very heavily inspired by her. She launched Big Magic, her amazing book about creativity, and then she launched a podcast because basically she said she had too much to say that it couldn't actually fit into the book. She had like spillover content. That's what happened with me really. I thought writing a book about yourself, 79,000 words about yourself, I was dying to speak to other people. So the idea was to interview some of my favourite creative people on the internet. I've interviewed people from Liz Gilbert, obviously, she was my first guest, to Zoella, to someone that works at Twitter.
So question number one from you guys is, I want to know how to get started.
To start a podcast, I think the first thing you need to do is decide what you want to do it about. I really would recommend knowing a format or a theme, just so that you have something to come back to every episode. You're kind of on track to a certain theme and topic. It also helps because on iTunes they kind of group together.
Right, so you sort of figure out which category you want to be in.
You could even go even more niche, like there's a podcast about Harry Potter, there's one called Witch Please, which is very good. You know, whatever you're into, there will be a podcast for
so
it.
niche is not a problem, niche is good. So question number two is one that I think a lot of you guys have, and that is, what kind of tech do you need?
Well, I'll show you. Number one is this Blue Yeti microphone, which has loads of different settings, so you can either have the sound come from all around it or just from one side or from two sides. So number two is this pop microphone filter. You basically put this over the microphone when you talk into it and just secure it on the side. It makes it less tinny and makes it sound more professional, like you're in a booth, a proper professional booth. And number three is a cable to basically plug your microphone into your laptop. So it's just a USB, goes into your microphone, and you can edit and record. You need a microphone, a pop filter, and a cable to record on your laptop, and that's all you need.
Now that you've recorded your podcast, how do you edit it?
So the editing software I use is really quite basic. You know, there are some that you can pay for. One's called Audition, which is really great, but I actually use the free one called Audacity. It's literally dragging your mouse over a section you don't want and pressing delete. You know, I'm not a master in any of this, and I think that's the point really. You can make a podcast with anything. YouTube is your friend.
Alright, so now we've created a podcast. How do you get it on the internet?
Your podcast feed will be an RSS link. So that will feed through and then go onto iTunes. So you do need to use a third-party host for that. I use Acast, but I think you have to pitch your idea to them to use their platform, but there are so many others. But if you just want to get it up online, I would suggest SoundCloud. SoundCloud's amazing, and it's really good for sharing it.
Yeah, so you can just go in and upload and that's it.
Yeah.
Really straightforward.
Yeah, just like an MP3 file.
Ali has asked, how do you grow your audience?
One thing I do recommend is asking people for ratings and reviews on iTunes. So asking people to star you or, you know, write a little review. It pushes your podcast up and it gets more visibility that way. So definitely that. But also, I do blog posts every time I do a new podcast episode. Also good descriptions of each episode. And the other thing is, if you are doing interviews, which I do, it's great because it means you're sharing it on your Twitter and your Instagram and your Facebook, and also they are as well.
So it's kind of like doing a collab on YouTube, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, very important section. It is the learn from your own mistakes section. What are some things that you regret doing?
So mistakes, I've made a few. One is, do not record in a massive echoey room. I've recorded in a huge open plan kitchen before, which just sounded awful. It sounded like I was in a big sports gym.
I've heard of people record in their closet.
Yeah, and I've heard of people recording with a blanket over their head. So if that works, do that. Another one is making sure that the sound is equal all the way through. I had someone telling me that the laughter in one of the episodes of my podcast just kind of spiked and nearly burst their eardrums.
So that was it. Now you know how to start your own podcast. Thank you so much for being on the platform channel, having a chat with us. If you want to listen to Emma's podcast, links will be in the description. Link to her book will also be in the description. Ctrl Alt Delete if you want to check it out. If you want to see more videos from us, of course subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Bye!
Hello, platform. Oh, hey, platform. Come in. Hi, platform. I'm basically pretending I'm on cribs.